I'm Shannon Thrasher, and this is 30-Second Tactics. Today we're going to talk about the 1911, the typical government model 45 Colt. Everybody knows. Most people have a strong opinion about, either pro or con. We're just going to talk real quick about whether it's still a viable option for a patrol weapon. The negatives that you tend to hear about it is what I'll go over and see if we can debunk some of those or if they're justified. So the first thing you're going to hear is reliability. Now, the problem with that is that's kind of a leftover bad reputation from the 70s and 80s when all the 1911s on the market, or most of them, were old surplus government guns that were wore out. They were never designed to shoot anything other than 230 grain ball. And then, just generation through generation, people just badmouth them. Nowadays, there's so many varieties and so many new 1911s. The basic design's the same, but all the engineering's been worked out. And I personally own several of them, and I don't see any more reliability problems with them as I do with, any of the other supposed better guns. Your Glocks, your SIGs, stuff like that. Just like anything, you can still get one that's going to give you a headache, but, that's true of most guns. So, is reliability an issue? I don't think so. It could be. If it is, that shouldn't be the gun you carry, regardless of, what gun it is. The other thing you're going to hear is weight, because you're comparing a steel gun to a mostly polymer gun in most cases. Those that are going to say, I'm not carrying a 1911, are probably carrying a Glock or a SIG 320 or something like that. So they're not really comparing apples to apples. But for a steel gun, yes, it's going to weigh more. I weighed my regular Glock 21, half polymer. I took the light off to weigh it, just to be fair, and I weighed it against this 1911 Springfield. Again, it's a modern gun. It's got night sights and a light rail and everything. It's ready for patrol, if that's what you wanted. And I weighed those two, and yeah, the 1911 weighed more when it was fully loaded, when both guns were fully loaded. And you compare them, the 1911 weighed about 8 ounces more, so almost a half a pound more. Now, is a half a pound a lot? Well, I mean, when you're shooting it, that half a pound's going to help you with recoil control. When you're carrying it, yeah, that's an extra half a pound. Now, is that a deal breaker for a half a pound? I don't know. It's up to you. Of course, the other thing, the last thing we'll talk about real quick before we go out on the range and do a little comparison, is magazine capacity. Now, I've just been talking so far about 45 caliber 1911s. Of course, they're available in lots of other calibers. But again, when you talk about the 1911, you're generally talking about 45s, which is why I compared you to the Glock 45. As long as we're sticking with that apples to apples comparison, in 45, you're talking about 13 rounds in a Glock and 8 rounds in a 1911. So we'll go out on the range and see how much of a big difference that makes in a realistic setting. I mean, obviously, more ammo is always better, unless you're swimming across the river. All right, so that's all I have right here. We'll go out on the range and see what we can find out. All right, we're back on the range. We're going to do a little demonstration, shoot the so-called high-capacity Glock, Glock 21, 13 rounds of 45. We'll just shoot them off relatively quick, see how long that takes. We'll do it on the timer, and then we'll do the same thing with the 1911, but with a standard 8-shot 1911. That's going to require a mag change. So we'll see how much time we're really saving or how much time we're really losing if we go with the 1911. All right. On the timer. All right, 9.07. All right, and now with the 1911, again, it's just a standard 8-round. They're not identical apples to apples because, as you saw, that the Glock's got an RMR on it, but we're not very far away, so that shouldn't be an issue. All right, on the beep. All right, 10.4. So in that one example, that sample of one, if you will, I lost about just a little over a second to the reload. So, All right, and just for fun, we'll mention the fact that there is always the option of getting a high capacity 1911. This happens to be an STI. I borrowed it from a buddy of mine. Not saying anything except what I'm saying. You can get them in high cap. We'll run this one on the timer just for fun, and it's a bit of a race gun, so I might try to shoot a little faster, and that might help my time, or it might just get me embarrassed. We'll see. So that's 5.3, but I think a couple of those didn't go ding. So what did we learn? Facts and opinions. Well, facts are 1911s are going to have less ammo than their modern polymer counterparts. They're also generally going to have a better trigger, and they're generally going to be a little heavier, which is going to be annoying when you carry it, but helpful during rapid fire. And those are the facts. Opinions, I love a 1911. Full disclosure, I don't currently carry one on duty, even though I could. So take that for what you will. I've looked at it from every angle, and I've decided a slightly lighter gun with a few more bullets is worth it. So I hope that gave you something to think about. As always, guys, if you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, hit the bell to get notified, share these videos, and if there's anything you want to see, just put it in the comments. As always, guys, work, train, repeat.